Hey, what's up YouTube? In case you couldn't tell, I am Sam and welcome to my channel, all Yu-Gi-Oh! All the time. Today I've got a really cool video for you guys. I've got the structure deck Rokket Revolt, just released this Friday, I believe, Friday or Thursday. And this is a deck I've been very excited for myself. This features some of the new Topologic monsters, as you can see on the box. I believe its name is Topologic Zero Boros. And it features the Rokket monsters. We get a new Rokket monster and Silver Rokket Dragon and some other cool Rokket monsters, some of them that have already been introduced. And my card shop gave me a Skill Drain Lost Art promo, so we'll open that as well. So let's start with the Skill Drain here, and then we'll get into the Rokket Revolt structure deck. And then after I open this, I want to just talk about the meta for a sec, because we see lately that these structure decks actually have a lot of influence on the meta sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't really last, like in the case of the zombie structure deck, but sometimes it does. We see the Skill Drain here. Looks very cool. Too bad this card isn't being used as much anymore, but that's okay. Still nice to see Skill Drain. And then we'll go ahead and get into the structure deck. So this is a deck that I was looking forward to a lot myself. I've been recently getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh! I've been more interested in like the Orcus cards, the Thunder Dragon cards, and then I stumbled upon the Rokket cards. You know, I already knew about Worrell Sword and Worrell and all that kind of stuff, but I stumbled upon the Rokket cards, and I was like, I wonder why nobody uses these. And then shortly after, they introduced the structure deck, or they announced it. And I was really excited to see that, because I think they're really cool. As we see the mat here with the Zero Boros, we see the, I believe it's called like Worrell Fusion Dragon, something like that. He's a fusion. Very nice. Then on the back, you've got your Power Up with packs, Rising Rampage, Savage Strike promos, Dark Neilstorm. Nice. And then you've got your strategy guide. That's what it was. The name was escaping me for a sec. Which is real cool. Nice. Nice to see that. I believe they also have like a quick play fusion in this deck, which is nice. So let's open this and then let's talk about the predictions I have for this deck. So we start off with our new ultra rare Link monster, Topologic Zero Boros. We'll read him real quick. He's a Link 4 Cybers effect monster. He takes 2+ effect monsters to make, so he's very generic. I like that. You cannot summon set monsters to any extra monster zone this card points to, and if you notice, he's got the 2 Link arrows diagonal on the bottom, and on the top, same thing. This card gains 200 attack for each banished card. If another monster is special summoned to a zone a Link monster points to, while this monster is on the field, banish all cards on the field. That's pretty crazy, guys. And then on top of that, once per turn during the standby phase of your next turn, after this card was banished by its own effect, special summon it. So this guy just continuously recurs himself if he gets banished by his own effect, and that's pretty crazy, man. That's insane. I mean, you can do so many. I'm just seeing so many Orca strategies with this guy, how they do the whole thing with the Topologic Bomber Dragon. They just kind of revive their Dengirsu whenever they want, just to nuke the board. Same thing here, except you're gonna banish the whole board. I don't know how great banishing Dengirsu will be though, but that's pretty crazy. And then we've got, so it's Worrell Furious Dragon. I believe I said Fusion Dragon. And I love how generic these cards are. I just want to point out 2 Dark Dragon monsters. And we'll get into his effect. Quick effect. You can target 1 monster you control and 1 card your opponent controls. Destroy them. Targeting isn't the best. Destruction can work sometimes. It's not the best, but you can banish this card from your grave. Then target one dark link monster in your grave and special summon it, but it cannot activate its effects this turn. That's pretty crazy. And then we've got the Quad Worrell Dragon. Nice to see so many ultra rares in the structure deck, man. So this takes 2 dragon monsters, including a Rokket monster. This one's a little more specific. You can discard 1 card, then target 1 face-up monster on the field. You cannot special summon, link to, or lower monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. Also, destroy the targeted monster. Okay, that's, I guess, decent. Then, if it was a link monster, you can special summon any number of Rokket monsters with different names from your hand or grave, up to its link rating. That can actually be pretty good. It's a little situational though, but that can be pretty good. You can only use this effect once per turn. Then we get into some of the monsters here in the main deck. The Silver Rokket Dragon. I believe he's a new Rokket card. We'll read him as well. When a link monster's effect is activated, that targets this face-up card on the field. So remember, with these cards, you can target with Borreload, Furious Dragon, and Quad Worrell. You can target your own monsters. So that's where this guy comes in. So when a link monster's effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field, quick effect. You can destroy this card. Then look at your opponent's extra deck and banish 1 card from it. That is harsh. That is really good. During the end phase, if this card is in the grave because it was destroyed on the field by battle or card effect and sent there this turn, you can special summon 1 Rokket monster from your deck except Silver Rokket Dragon. So that's really good. You can put this guy on the board, destroy him, banish a card from your opponent's extra deck, and you don't lose a body because he'll special summon another Rokket monster from the deck. That's pretty good. Then we've got Rokket Tracer, and he's a tuner level 4. Quick effect, you can target 1 face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon 1 Rokket monster from your deck except Rokket Tracer. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except dark monsters. You can only use this effect of Rokket Tracer once per turn. Pretty good. And we've got another super rare here. The Rokket Tracer was a super rare as well. So we've got Absoluter Dragon. I'm not completely sure how you say that. If you control a Rokket monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon 1 of these guys per turn this way. If this card is sent to the grave, you can add 1 Rokket monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Wow, that's pretty good. And we've got another super rare. Like, how many foils is that so far? Wow. 0 Day Blaster. It's a trap card. Tribute 1 Dark Link monster, then target cards on the field equal to its link rating and destroy them. And again, targeting and destruction, not the best way to remove monsters off the board. But just to show you guys the foils, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 foils in a structure deck. That's pretty crazy. So, getting into the main deck now, the commons. We'll just kind of speed through these. We've got the Rokket Recharger, Exploder Rokket Dragon, Checksum Dragon, Anest the Rokket Dragon, I think that's how you say that, Auto Rokket Dragon, Magna Rokket, Shell Rokket, Metal Rokket, Rokket Synchron, Gateway Dragon, Defrag Dragon. I always thought that picture just looks so cool for Defrag Dragon. Background Dragon, Labradorite Dragon. Interesting to see a normal vanilla tuner in the deck. Paladin of Felgrand. Nice to see that. Dragon Knight of Creation. Cool. Keeper of the Shrine. World Chalice Guard Dragon. Nice to see this card in the structure deck. Raiden Hand of the Light Sworn, and then we'll get into the spells here. So we've got Boral Supplier, Rapid Trigger, and this is the Quick Play Fusion. Squib Draw, Boot Sector Launch, which is your field spell. Boral Regenerator, Dragon Shrine, Ruins of the Divine Dragon Lords, Return of the Dragon Lords, We've got a Polymerization and a Twin Twisters. Nice to see common Twin Twisters here. Execute Protocols for your first trap card. Red Reboot. Common Red Reboot in this structure deck. Like, the value of this structure deck, man, it's insane. Link Turret. Mirror Force Launcher. Mirror Force. Magic Cylinder. Imperial Order. And then we get into some more extra deck monsters here. We've got 3 of them, starting off with the common Worrell Dragon. Wow. You know, it kind of sucks to see some of these cards common, but oh my gosh, that is nice. Triple Burst Dragon. Very nice. Along with Booster Dragon. And that'll do it for the deck, guys. And I want to just use the rest of the video here real quick to just kind of talk about what kind of influence I think this deck will have on the meta. So like I said before, we've seen in the past that certain structure decks do have an influence in the meta. I believe it was last year in October around Halloweenish that the zombie deck was introduced, and we saw people using it in tournaments. Although the zombie deck's influence didn't last, it was still there for a good solid, what, maybe like a month or two, a little more, maybe a little less, give or take. Anyway, how long will this deck last in the meta? Because I believe it is going to be there. I believe people are going to play this deck. Dragons are one of the strongest archetypes in the game, as we can see from Crusadia Danger Thunder Dark Dragon, Crusadia Danger Thunder Guard Dragon. And on top of that, the attribute is Dark, which is the most heavily supported attribute. So we've got the strongest attribute, and we've got one of the strongest types. And we've got some of the strongest support in terms of link monsters. We've got the Topologic Zero Boros. We've got the Worrell Dragon. Of course, Worrell Savage Dragon is not in here, but that also is in this deck. Topologic Bomber Dragon fits in this. And those are some of the strongest monsters in the game right now. I think this deck will be played in the meta. I think this deck is going to be pretty decent. I think this deck's main strength is going to be going first, establishing negates. I've seen boards where people create like an Appaloosa along with a Worrell Savage, and that could easily be 3 to 5 negates there, assuming you use Appaloosa to get anywhere from 2 to 4 plus Worrell Savage. So that's 3 to 5 negates. That's pretty crazy, guys. I think this deck is gonna last longer than zombies in the meta, and I think this deck, I don't know about what tier it will be, but with some of the other decks getting significant hits like Orcust is still very much alive, don't get me wrong, but decks like Orcust and Salamangreat that were dominating before, I mean, they're gonna, and this is a brand new deck, they're not as strong as they used to be. This deck might be able to come in and do some damage and make an impact. I may experiment with this deck. We'll see. Like I said, I'm much more into like Orcust, but I think this deck's concept is really cool. I think it's got a lot of potential. And I like the idea of being able to establish multiple negates. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you guys next week.